Thank you to Speediance for sponsoring this video. All right, so this kind of breaks the laws of physics, and I know how that sounds, but watch. I'm lowering this weight, like right now. Resistance is actually increasing on the way down. I am not a physicist, but I know gravity doesn't do that, and a barbell doesn't do that. Nothing in any gym that I've ever stepped foot in does that, and for thousands of years, since people picked up the first rock, weights have worked one way. You lift, you lower, resistance stays the same the whole time, always. This machine just rewrote that. And once you understand why, it changes how your muscles actually grow and how you're going to look at every other piece of gym equipment that you might potentially own. And I'm gonna tell you all about the Speediance Gym Monster 2 that I took a look at a few months ago. But first, let me tell you how to win $500. You don't even have to get in shape if you don't want to. To leave me a comment down below, tell me a fact about yourself. Tell me the first workout you would do. Tell me something fun or a dad joke. Just leave it down below. Make sure there's a way to contact you either in that comment or on your YouTube page. You can enter once per day for 10 days, so one comment per day. Watch the video all the way through. Give the video a thumbs up. And if you feel interested, check out Speediance because their stuff is really good that I'm going to tell you about. All information down below. All right, so first, welcome to my home. So this is the Speediance Gym Monster 2 behind me. And a big thank you to Speediance for sponsoring this video. I actually got some hands-on time with this back in January at CES, which is kind of a weird place to start a home gym review. Trade show demos usually exist to make things look really good under convention lighting. I had like 3 people surrounding me when I was filming, making sure everything worked perfectly. And I've been doing this long enough to know that the booth experience and then the real world experience are usually like very, very different things. So I didn't say anything after CES. They shipped one home. I put it in my actual house and used it for about a month. And that's sort of the impressions that you're gonna get today. As you can see, my home gym situation is probably very specific to me. I've got a Peloton right back there. I've got an elliptical off to the side. And that setup has really been working mostly. But the category I was missing before this came home was a whole like chunk of training. No cable work, no safe way to bench press alone, not enough variety to keep me kind of growing and sort of honest with my workouts. So I needed something that was actually going to work, and kind of this is what I've landed on. The machine itself is a freestanding tower. It's got a 21.5-inch touchscreen, built-in dual motors, up to 220 pounds of digital resistance, and it ships in a very heavy box. But heavy box, it's almost completely assembled inside of it. You literally roll the thing out of the box because it's got wheels, plug it into a wall outlet, and you're pretty much good to go. You don't have to worry about wall mounting, no drilling, no calling anyone. Folded up, the footprint is smaller than most treadmills. And for space, again, that moonlights as a dance studio 4 afternoons a week, that matters. What also matters is no subscription here either. You buy it, you own it. The Gym Monster 2 gives you 500 guided workouts, all the training data, all the smart features, and no recurring charge. Kind of the way I think about the price, this can replace a gym membership entirely, or it can be a smarter way to train on top of what you're already doing. Either way, when you add up what gym membership costs over a few years, I think the math gets more interesting. And the reason this machine can make that argument is because of what it can actually do that nothing else can kind of come close to. Which brings me back to what I showed you at the beginning. So there are 4 resistance modes on this machine. One I was demoing is called eccentric mode. The eccentric phase of any lift is the lowering phase. When you're kind of bringing the weight back down, it's actually where a significant amount of muscle growth happens. The problem with every other traditional piece of equipment, dumbbells, barbells, cable stacks, all of it, it runs on gravity. Gravity doesn't know what phase of the rep you're on. It's always the same. Gym Monster 2 knows. And in eccentric mode, sort of it loads you harder on the way down, exactly when your muscles need the most stimulus. My tricep pull downs and bicep curls a few days after my first real eccentric session left me sore in places my dumbbell routinely had stopped touching. Like I had a hard time showering. I'm not trying to sell you on anything with that. That is just kind of a real world experience. The other 3 modes. So chain mode does the opposite. It progressively loads you heavier as you move kind of through the lifting phase. So resistance sort of peaks at the top of the rep where you actually are the strongest. If you've ever seen someone train with actual chains, standard mode is just consistent resistance from start to finish. Same feel as kind of regular weights, which is great and something that's for most people probably all they're going to want. Fixed speed mode though holds a constant pulling speed no matter how hard you pull, which is perfect for like rehab work or if you want to force yourself to actually control the tempo, generally instead of like cheating it. All 4 modes, same machine, same bicep curl, feels like 4 different exercises depending on kind of which way you're doing it. The thing that actually changed what I can do up here is spotter mode. I thought this was awesome. So when you're lifting solo, there's always like a ceiling, a weight you can't get past because if something goes wrong, nobody there and kind of you don't want to hurt yourself getting out of those weights and kind of get complicated and generally unsafe. Spotter mode handles that. So spotter mode takes care of that without an actual person. It can detect when resistance becoming too much for you and the rep kind of backs off, which is hugely awesome. My bench press is now back in regular rotation because of this. I have not been able to bench press safely at home for a while. It's all through a small Bluetooth ring that comes with the machine. It is a huge like value add and selling point to what Speediance is doing. It removes being necessary to reach up to the screen, especially if you're working out or you're in a position where you can't reach up. Just rotate the ring to change the weight. It's also probably the coolest feature is for safety. You can click to turn the weight on or off. If you find yourself trying to pull too much weight, a single click releases the weight to kind of keep you safe. If you compare kind of that method with the old way of going to a gym and having to unrack weights, put on the clip, take the clip off, take the weights off, put them back, it is not only a huge time saver, it's also just a really cool use of technology. So on the software side, things like HIIT, cardio, yoga, even a feature called Wellness Plus that builds sort of personalized programs for your training data, and then adjusts as you go. If you want to see how much weight you're pulling from your left arm versus your right arm, you want to dig into the data, Speediance gives you that option. If you're an experienced lifter, who already knows sort of the program, you'll probably live in the free mode. Pick your exercise, set the resistance, and just do your thing. The guided stuff though is well built for anyone who wants sort of a plan handed to them. Screen is fast, menus make sense. It's not perfect, but I do kind of want to be straight about what could be better with the whole machine. The D handles that come in the box are plasticky and I think pretty basic. They do the job, but they don't feel premium at this price point. The included bench is light, makes it easier to move, but under heavy pressing, it can get a bit kind of wobbly. So if you have a sturdier bench already, I would probably use that. Spotify doesn't work natively yet. Apple Music does. So if you're a Spotify person, you're probably pairing your phone separately for now. There's an accessory storage dock sold separately for around $110, and I'd probably just throw that in the cart kind of at the same time. All the handle straps, attachments need somewhere to live, and figuring that out from day to day saves you kind of a pile on the floor situation. One more attachment probably worth talking about separately is the rower, and that's a bigger piece and probably a different conversation. I tried it. The stroke is smooth, the motion's controlled, and there are scenic rowing courses on screen that are a nice touch. If it's your thing, this does not feel like an afterthought here at all. I think the big question people have with this before buying it is the resistance ceiling. A 220-pound cap's not a problem. People ask about that a lot when they saw this machine. However, for the majority of people, it's not gonna be a ceiling they hit, and the cable and resistance tends to feel harder than the equivalent free weight anyway. But if you need more headroom, if you are extra strong, they make a higher version, the Gym Monster 2S, a GM2S, which goes 260 pounds. That is for people much stronger than me, who want a serious bump into the top range. If your training is primarily heavy barbell work in the 300 pounds range, and that's the version to look at. Everyone else, you're not gonna run out of machine. I've had a lot of things come through my house that have kind of promised to be the only fitness equipment I would ever need. Most of them solved a problem or two, they introduced a new one or two. The Gym Monster 2 is actually the first one that I put in the loft that actually changed what I can do up there. My bench press, and that's a big one for me, is back. I felt myself get stronger and faster with this than I ever did with free weights alone. That is not something that I say lightly. That's the whole point of this machine, and it's delivering on it. I've stayed consistent for a month because I actually wanted to go up there, which if you know my history with Peloton and working out, which I don't know why you would, but it's saying something. My daughter still has her dance room. I didn't have to drill holes in my wall. It does what it says it does. If you want the full setup, everything I've shown you, including the rower, there's a bunch of package options. That's a family plus, but different versions too without that, some accessories. All links will be down below. If you want to work out in your house, this is a perfect way to do it.